make a big noise playing in the street. Gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, you big disgrace. Kicking your can all over the place, singing, we will rock you.
Howdy. This is Wilson's Promontory National Park. It is where I've come on holiday for 5 days over the school holidays, and it's an amazing geological location. And yes, I am studying the rocks for a moment while I'm here, but that's not why I came. I'm not that nerdy. Well, I'm a bit nerdy. But yeah, these rocks are really, really interesting. And thanks Thomas. My nephew is just helping me out with the, thanks Thomas, thinks he's cool. One thing I have not failed to notice is the proliferation, the masses of igneous rock all over this place. In fact, 400 million years ago, this was being made kilometers below the Earth. And what happens with igneous rock is obviously magma or lava solidifies, goes hard, and becomes rock. But depending on how it does that and what kinds of minerals are in the magma, it can form different kinds of igneous rock. Granite, this entire promontory is made of granite. Granite is an interesting one because it cools very slowly, which means it makes lots of crystals, and you can see large crystals actually. You can see there's these big white ones here that are sort of rectangular or square in shape. That's called feldspar, and then there's actually 3 different kinds here. You've got the quartz over here, which is sort of a greyish colour, and that's a bit transparent. And then the black bits there, where is it? Thank you, Thomas. Those bits, that's called mica, and it's really rich in iron. But silicon, iron, lots of the different elements make up this kind of rock. These mountains, apart from the very thin layer of dirt and obviously plants and animals on top of them, the rest of it is all granite. And basically what happens, if you just hold it there, Thomas, at the start of the river, over there, you can see that as the rain comes down, it's been raining a lot today, as the rain comes down, it washes bits of that rock down in the river. And then come down here, Thomas. If you look down here, what's all this here? This is all sand. Sand is just little pieces of the rock that's been washed away, and that all gets taken out to sea. What can then happen in the rock cycle is that if this forms layers and layers and layers and gets compressed over time, that can actually form sedimentary rock as well. And there are some places at Wilson's Promontory where there is a little bit of sedimentary rock that's formed, which is cool. But absolutely amazing place. And yeah, one other thing, this is biology now, not geology, but they all sort of mix and intermingle. If you have a look down here, you've got these this yellow stuff. This is lichen. It's a plant that grows on rock, and you'll see that it needs sunlight. Can I borrow the camera again? Because at the edge of the rock here, where the cliff doesn't actually block it out, you've got loads of lichen. But you come up here where it's being blocked out completely, you've got a tiny bit, and then in there you've got no lichen whatsoever because hardly any sun gets in there, and very little water as well, which it also needs, which is cool. So thanks for sticking with me through my what do you call it? Video. Okay, we'll call it a video. My scientific exploration of the Wilson's Promontory National Park. I hope this has helped you to understand geology just that little bit more. Look at that beautiful scenery.
We will rock you. Buddy, you're a young man, hard man, shouting in the street. You're gonna take on the world someday. You got blood on your face, a big disgrace.
G'day again, guys. Just hanging around at just down near South Morang, and I'm about to show you one of the most beautiful sights that you'll ever see. And no, it's not my car, although yep, it is a pretty swish car. But anyway, come with me and I'll show you something even better. So what you can see down here is the gorge. I'm sure it's got some name, but anyway, I will explain the significance to you of this in just a moment. This is the road from South Morang, other side of Plenty Road. You can see there's a cutaway here in the road, and all of this rock here is all basalt, volcanic rock. As a result of lava flow. So it's actually, originally it was extrusive igneous rock. Every time you have a look at a cutaway, when you drive through like this, you can see the rock that's revealed from it. And this is clearly volcanic, which is cool. Hey, just on my way to that gorge, and I've come across another road cutting, and look at this, it's amazing. This is clearly, look at all the layers in it. It's clearly, and the layers are going that way, yeah, vertical, or nearly vertical. So it's clearly not volcanic, because volcanic doesn't have those layers. It's sedimentary. This is sedimentary rock, and it's a beautiful example. So we've come down from just up there, the sedimentary rock. When we were up the road further, it wasn't sedimentary, it was igneous. And now what we've got is we've got down to where the river is, and this is cutting through the mountain basically, and it's cut through all of the layers of rock. And so what I'm suggesting is that we've got actually set, and you can see over where am I pointing? Yeah, there. This is hard. There. Can you see that rock there? Over in that rock, actually I'll just go over and show it to you. Hopefully you can tell what kind of rock this is. It's pretty brittle. You can see clearly that when it breaks down, it makes this silt. So I would say this is actually siltstone, but it's definitely sedimentary rock. You can see all the layers in it. Going that way. I don't know what these are. I'd love to look them up. But clearly, they're built by some form of insect, and they're old. So I'm gonna take this one off. I'll bring it back so you can see. But it looks like maybe a native wasp or bee has built this. This is not what the honeybees look like that we imported from Europe, but amazing. It's sedimentary rock. So all of the rock below here is sedimentary, with the exception of this rock here. This is more igneous rock, volcanic, but this, as you can see, has been placed here, and there's rubbish everywhere because there's a drain right here. This is what happens when you throw your rubbish on the street. It gets washed down the drain and gets washed into rivers and kills things. But these rocks have been placed here so that they can prop up the drain. But apart from that, all of this is sedimentary rock, and you can see the river is eating its way through all the rock. So what's happened? It's a very interesting geological story. Let me tell it to you now. 420 million years ago, all of this was underwater. This part of Victoria, Epping, South Morang, all of it under the ocean actually. And what you can see is in a lot of the sedimentary rock, they find fossils. They find fossils of sea creatures, as in, like, you know, shellfish and amphibian tracks. They find fossils of, which is amazing. And that's all in this sort of sedimentary rock here. So when this was all covered in ocean, the sedimentary rock was forming, or the sediment falling down through off the cliffs nearby and the land nearby, getting washed into the ocean, all the sand and everything was forming layers and layers and layers, got compacted and cemented over time, formed sedimentary rock. Stuff got trapped in that and formed fossils. Up further than that, the water levels had receded, and all of a sudden there's a whole lot of volcanoes in this area. In fact, there were heaps, loads and loads of volcanoes were in not too far from Epping, actually. A bit further than sort of Wollert was our closest volcano. And lava would flow for like 15,000 square kilometers of lava flow, and that formed the basalt that is above. See, I came, you are coming by video. See, the road that I came by leads higher and higher until you get to the point where it's pretty much up at the height of Epping Secondary College. I'm a lot lower than it now. And that's where you get the basalt, because the lava flowed over the top of the sedimentary rock and formed more layers, but it's of igneous rock, so it's not sedimentary. Which is just amazing. So this river here in the gorge has actually eaten its way through relatively recently geologically, so that I'm talking the last few, just thousands of years. It's eaten its way through both igneous rock and sedimentary rock to form this valley that we have here. The gorge was formed by the river, which is amazing.
Big disgrace, somebody better put your bag into your place. We will rock you. Sing it. We will.
I've brought you now to India, and I've climbed a mountain, and you can see I'm actually over the top of a town in the south of India called Vellore. The house that I've been staying in while I'm here is just over there, and I've been having the most amazing curries for like breakfast, lunch and dinner. And I've climbed this mountain for two reasons. One, because it's cool to climb mountains, and the other one is because it's made of granite. But as you can see, it's a different kind of granite. And when I say different kind, it's got a different composition. It's got the same three minerals: quartz, feldspar and mica, but it's clearly different amounts of each kind of mineral. The other amazing thing about this is the archaeological evidence that's here, which when you look down and I take you out, you can see I'm actually on not just a granite outcrop, but a wall that's been made here. And often when you come to civilizations that have been non-nomadic, Australia's got the longest civilization in the world with our indigenous population, which is amazing, and there's such good history there, but they were nomadic, and so they didn't build structures mostly. And so when you come to places like India that have had non-nomadic people groups for very, very long periods of time, you get some really interesting structures. It's very interesting to try and work out, you know, what's happened, why nobody lives here anymore. Often what happens is that there's safety up a hill. Because imagine this, imagine there's some angry people coming up the hill to try and attack us, and if I just stand back here, even if they're shooting things, I can throw rocks, or I can shoot arrows, or I can do whatever from the top, and I'm safe. But clearly not that much need for that anymore. The fact that this wall is made of granite is interesting, because clearly they've just got the granite from the rocks that are just exposed on the mountain. Whereas in other places, like for example Angkor Wat in Cambodia, which is a huge temple that goes over 400 square kilometers, that whole structure
all of the structures there are made out of rock that is not from the area, which means there's a story there. It's been taken from somewhere else. And we can try and work that out with the knowledge that we have of the rocks. Phenomenal, isn't it? So exciting. So this is what's done with the granite. This is for grinding, I'll show you, for grinding spices and things. And that's the mountain I just climbed, up there. This is the road. So there you have it. I hope that this instructional video has assisted you in your knowledge of geology. And if it hasn't, you've clearly not been listening at all, and shame on you.